Well, hello there, troopers. There we go.
I
There we
was like,
go.
I was gonna randomly add Jose to this and just not put anybody else on.
Surprise.
He's a
Fooled
back.
you.
Yeah, exactly. You thought you were getting something, you're getting nothing. Just me.
Yeah, Jose hijacked my YouTube channel. I gave him all my passcodes.
Exactly. Yes. In
He re-
hindsight, maybe not the best decision, but
he
we'll make it
restricted
work.
my page.
Imagine. That's funny.
That'd be
What's up,
messed
guys?
up. Hi.
Chilling. What's going on?
Not much, man. Here, seeing if I can remember how to do this, man. It feels like we've been gone for a little bit. Uh, at the same
Do you know what
time,
time zone you're in?
yeah,
Yeah.
not really. My body doesn't, that's for sure. Um, but yeah, dude, it feels like we've been gone for a long time, and yet not long enough at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, happy to be back and ready to chat some Andor for sure.
Well, we got to talk about everything.
Yeah, we got quite a bit to catch up on.
I know we haven't seen your majestic face in a while.
I don't know about majestic, but it is a face.
Getting withdrawals, seeing all your posts of Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, dude, it was nuts. Well, again, just not a surprise to anybody, but Japan is amazing. I mean, Japan is just incredible, right on its own, right? And the trip was amazing. I'm still catching up on my vlog videos, for the trip. I posted one yesterday. Um, that was actually one of the worst ones, dude. We went up a mountain to go see some monkeys because the wife and the kid wanted to see them. Oh my lord, dude! Like I was this close of just saying, you know what, guys, just go ahead. I'm just gonna kill over here on the side of this mountain. Like it
Just
was
roll down the
horrible.
mountain.
Yeah, dude. I wish I would have rolled down. Like there was just like stairs. Um, no, dude, it was bad. I was like, I was seeing spots. It was bad. I'm like, I'm definitely not in shape for this. But we made it. Gorgeous. The natural beauty, I think, that Japan has sometimes a little bit overlooked just because they got so much awesome stuff right in their cities. But just the nature out there, dude, it's ridiculous. It's like somebody designed it, like it's beautiful. And the weather was great. It was cool but not too cold. We got a little bit of rain but not too much, and it just kind of added to the vibe, at the same time. um, and then I get back and it's all hot and humid and loud and like smelly, and I'm like, dang it, man. um, but yeah.
Welcome to Tip.
Yeah, exactly. um, but the trip was amazing, like I said. Eventually I'll catch up on all my vlog videos, so just stay tuned for that. But celebration Japan, um hadn't happened since like 2008. So definitely, some of the Japanese were very, very excited about having the show back. um it was 3 days, which is way too short. Just FYI. I feel that celebration's got to be at least 4 days, if not five, like they've done before. um a lot of people, a lot of people, more than I thought. I've been to Celebration twice before this one, once in Chicago, once in Anaheim. And to me, the Chicago one was bigger in terms of people, in terms of head count. Anaheim was, of course, very popular because Disneyland was right there too, right? So a lot of people definitely made a trip out of it. But this one in Japan, I was like, all right, it's in Japan. Not everybody, is willing or able to make that trip. Or like it's a hell of a trip, just to get out there, in time and expense. But holy crap, dude! On Friday, the first day of celebration, like you had a hard time getting through the aisles. Like it was like shoulder to shoulder, dude. It was crazy. I
What time
never
did you
would have
hit
expected that.
the line?
So I went. So doors open at 9 a.m. Right? I stood in line from like 7:30 around there. So I wasn't
Whoa.
one of those 3 a.m. people, Um, not that it would have helped too much, I think. But I was like, I want to go early, but not, not like uber early.
Not like our buddy RMD.
Yeah, exactly. although it did pay off for him.
Yep.
Um,
At the crack of dawn.
yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, I wasn't staying close to the event. I was pretty far away actually. And so a lot of people managed to get the booking right there on the hotel that's literally like 10 minutes walking from the venue, right? I didn't. So my hotel was closer to Disneyland Tokyo. It was in that like area. So which is not close to the convention center. So I had to take a bus and then a train to get myself out there.
Oof.
So normal, travel time was about 45 minutes. So that's why I was like, well, even if I would have to leave like at 2 a.m. In order to get there like early enough. I was like, I'm not gonna do that. So I went early, but like I said, not super super early. The line, by the time it opened 9 a.m., I didn't make it inside until like 9:20 something. By the time that volume of people like actually got through the door. And so by that point, there was about 500 people in the Hot Toys, line already. I think I posted a picture. Like,
Scalpermania.
oh, dude, it was crazy. But now, keep in mind, VIPs go in earlier, right? So they went in at 8 or 8:30, I forget right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had a head start, but even they had to stand in line. From what I've been told, there was still a lot of people. Hot Toys was by far, I think, one of the most popular booths to buy exclusives at. So even the VIP people still had to stand in line for a little bit. um but yeah, so it was a big line. I'm like, you know what, let's be honest, these exclusives are not happening. And so I went to roam around. I did film some of the stuff for Hot Toys before the
Mm-hmm.
line got too crazy and you couldn't even see it. um but yeah, so by the time I got in, by the time I saw the Hot Toys booth, it was already time to go to the panel, which was at 10 a.m. So I'm like, all right, well, I gotta find my way because it's in another building, and get into the panel, right? The Mandalorian Grogu panel. Um, so yeah, it was, for anybody that's been to Celebration, they know, or that it's it's a lot going on in parallel, right? So you're always gonna be missing stuff. Doesn't matter, how well planned you have it. There's always gonna be stuff that you don't get to see or you don't get to do because it's at the same time as another activity, right? Or another panel, or if you have an autograph, if you have a picture, like that's gonna take away time, right, from doing other stuff. So always keep that in mind. Like when you go to conventions like this, you can't do everything every day, right? It's just not possible, right? Because that's the way they're designed. Different people have different interests, so you're gonna be hitting different things, throughout. um but
That
yeah,
was one
like I said,
confusing thing for me watching everything. It was like the live stage was happening at the same time as like panels and
correct.
certain leaked footage was happening.
And that's
Um,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you have
Whatever.
live stage with actors and stuff, like cool guests, and then you had panels right at the same time, and then you could have had your picture or your autograph at the same time, and there was maybe a fan stage expo at the same time. So on Friday, actually, after the Mandalorian Grogu panel, I went to check out our friends from Explore the Force.
Mm-hmm.
They had a fan panel at 11, I think, something like that. So that panel happened at the same time as the Hasbro panel. So while I was, watching these guys do their thing, people are just posting things like, "Oh, new figure, new Cal Kestis, new blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Dang it!" Like I just, but it was happening
You're like, why am I supporting my friends?
exactly. I'm like,
yeah.
why am I such a good person? Like, damn it, man.
And I
Uh,
don't know if it's the new Cal Kestis or just the Cal Kestis, because that handlebar mustache, that's
yeah,
what we
right.
all wanted. So
Exactly. That
it's
should
the
have been.
only one.
That should have been. Yeah, that should have been this the from the beginning. Uh, but like so stuff like that, right? I mean, you're always gonna be missing stuff.
Yeah.
And then it happened to me because I was trying to circle back into the show, and Hayden Christensen was literally walking off the stage, the live stage. I'm like, dang it, like I missed it, like so it just happens like that. But yeah, uh, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of people, and like I said, I was surprised for Friday. Weirdly enough, Saturday seemed to like be more chilled than Friday was. And then Sunday like kicked back up again. I feel it was a lot of people.
So it was the last
Um,
day.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but normally Saturday is like the craziest day, right? Like that's the one that everybody plans
All the
to.
scalpers hit their stuff, so they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna take today off."
Well, it's funny you say that because on Friday, Hot Toys sold out of their exclusives for the show,
Mm-hmm.
which I gotta be honest with you guys, like I wasn't a fan of that decision. Like, why would you put your entire stock out the day one, right? Because there's people that don't get to show up to day one, right? Like maybe they can only go for one day and it's not Friday, right? So I thought that wasn't cool, to be honest. I mean, I have thought about buying one of the hot toys. Like I wasn't really like gunning for it. Um, but I know people, were very excited about those exclusives and they were definitely popular. So yeah, so to be told they're sold out at like whatever 11 a.m.
It was
On the
pretty
first
early,
day.
right?
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they were gone.
Dude, that
Um,
sucks.
yeah, and sold out for the show, not sold out for the day, sold out for the
For
show.
the
Like that's it. We got no more. They're done. We're not getting any more. Go away. So I don't know. I didn't think that was cool, but maybe that's just me. I don't know why they couldn't split it up into, we take out a few every day, give everybody kind of a chance.
or
Um,
limit
yeah,
people.
but yeah, and people were able to buy two of the exclusives.
What?
Yeah, so that was the other thing.
I thought it was only one.
Nope, you could buy two, quantity two of each.
Wow.
Sorry, I should say.
So
So you
you
you could buy
technically could have
two.
went there with a friend of yours who doesn't even collect,
Exactly,
and you could have bought four and
exactly.
then
And I saw
sold
people with bags
three.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
could
I
have
wanted
sold.
I wanted them all so bad.
You know what's funny about that? The mall was not popular, like
What? It's
at
because a
all,
lot of
dude.
people are not a fan of like the concept art.
Exactly. That I
And
don't think people got what it was.
yeah.
I
But
was
not.
digging it until I saw the comb over. He had like the little hair
Yeah,
strip. It reminded me like Homer Simpson, and I was like, "Oh, dang it! Why'd I have to see that?" Because I couldn't unsee it.
No, I
yeah,
love I love the concept mall because it looks like he doesn't look scary, so that's even more creepy.
exactly. Um, it so that one specifically, that one, the mall was not popular. That one made it all the way to Sunday. Um,
Wow. Fuck, I
yeah,
should ask somebody to buy it for me.
yeah. If I would have known you wanted it, yeah. Because by that time, the line had died down considerably
But
because all of the exclusives were gone.
I just didn't know how much like the tariff stuff was gonna be.
I
I
mean,
didn't
if you
know if
buy
like
it,
it was the taxing was gonna be like nuts.
no, if you buy it there, I mean, you're in Japan. They
Yeah.
don't impose taxes
Fuck, I wish I would
on.
have known that. I definitely would have texted you immediately.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, because by like Saturday afternoon, the line was pretty chilled because everything was gone at that point.
Yeah.
Um, so obviously Anakin was the first one to go, right? Like
Oh
that
yeah, of
sold out
course.
first. The second one closely after that was the Sakura Trooper, right? Um,
Pretty.
and those were gone day one, right? Like first few hours. Vader, what I call the cell shaded Vader, the blue and red. That
Yeah.
one
Color me
actually
Vader.
lasted until Saturday afternoonish, like around 1, 2 p.m.
Oh
Because
wow.
yeah, because a buddy of mine went, he's like, hey, like there's almost no line at the Hot Toys. I'm gonna go in. I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, let me know what they have. And he's like, hey, I bought the Vader. I was like, they still got Vader. He's like, yeah, I just got it. I was like, oh, badass. And then who was it? Somebody that we know said, hey, I got in line for Hot Toys again, and the Vader is sold out. I'm like, dude, this guy my friend just bought it. He showed me like an hour ago. He's like, no, it's sold out. I was like, dang. But the mall was still
Yes.
there. Yeah, the mall was still there until Sunday. So yeah, if I would
Sorry.
have known, picked it up.
Sorry for doing a random yes. Dante just texted me from Rebel Scum. He
Yep.
said, I figured you'd enjoy this. The city just approved us for having a tattoo corner at Rebel Scum. So
Nice.
I'm gonna get
Oh
tattooed
snap!
there.
Somebody's getting more ink.
I'll probably just add like a little Rebel Scum logo with, maybe have one of you guys like design like a friendship tattoo.
Oh, imagine that'd be kind of
Pretty
cool.
cool.
We should all get one. Little baby ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, overall, celebration being celebration, highly disorganized, mess up with schedules, long ass lines. Amazing to be with as many, like-minded people. You basically strike a conversation with everybody. Everybody's like your friend there. It's awesome.
I saw some pretty
Um,
cool cosplays. Did you see the Droideka
I
when?
did.
Yeah.
I
Bro,
did see
everybody
him.
had that guy on social media.
Yeah, and I saw him rolling too. Yeah, that guy was awesome. Yeah, there were some insane cosplays. Of course, some like Japanese theme, like the samurai,
The
Vader
Ronin.
and that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
the Ronin that was there was actually from the manga. Like he was like a how do you call it? I guess like an official cosplayer for the manga pavilion. So they
Ooh.
had a section showcasing the division stuff, right? Um, but they had cosplayers at the booth, like all pretty much all through the show. And one of them was the Ronin, and some other ones were like remember the bandits that had like pieces of stormtrooper armor like on them.
Mhm.
There was some of those guys, so those were always like around, and they look awesome. I mean, but like I said, they were kind of like official, I guess.
I think that was the main reason why I was kind of like sad that I didn't go to this celebration was because I've always been inspired by some of like the Japanese Star Wars
Yeah,
artwork. And because Star Wars was inspired by a Japanese film, I wanted to see like all the crazy cosplays, especially like samurais and Ronins.
yeah,
But yeah, like some of the stuff that I saw online between like you, Chris, Tony, Ricky, like everybody's posts, like literally it was just cosplays. I thought they were freaking amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, one of the things that I missed out on was the cosplay meetup. I really wanted to see that, but yeah, I mean the cosplays were crazy. Uh, a lot of, I guess, people from outside of Japan were cosplaying, which how like dude, to travel to Japan is already like a lot, and to travel to Japan with like armor or like a full on whatever it is, like trooper costume, a freaking Amidala costume, like something like that, like I can't even think about like the stress of carrying all of that. And then like they actually have some pretty strict rules about cosplaying in Japan.
Hmm.
um Basically you can't travel in cosplay, like you can't really be on the
Oh.
bus, you can't really be on the train, on your suit. So you had to reserve changing rooms at the venue and lockers for you to put your stuff in. So just that added layer of like difficulty, I'm like, dude, my head's off to anybody that cosplayed at the show because that was a pain in the butt.
One of the girls that I follow who's a cosplayer was showing videos of like how tiny the rooms were,
Hmm.
and that was kind of sad. She was like,
Exactly.
she goes, it's hot.
Yeah.
She was like, you can barely change.
Yeah.
She was like, this is one of like that was one of like another big complaint that I heard about
Yeah.
Celebration was like there was no consideration for cosplayers.
No. Now, the only thing that I can say in like their defense is that they announced that a long time ago.
Oh
Like they
yeah,
said,
for a
"Hey, if
fact.
you're cosplaying, you can come in in your suit or whatever. You're gonna have to change here and all of that." So, but yes, to your point, the facilities are not specifically for that, right? They just kind of adapted those rooms for that stuff. Um, and I don't think they knew how many people actually wanted to do it. I don't think they were prepared for that. So, like I said, my hats off to any cosplayer that did anything out there because it was like uber complicated. Like it's hard
Especially
enough,
not from there. If they came from the States, I
Exactly.
mean, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Like I saw somebody like they had like 3 tubs that they sent. Like they sent like a week before
Yep.
and it had all their armor because they were doing like different cosplay each day. I'm like, dang, I wonder how much that costs just to ship it. And then like to
Exactly.
be paranoid that, hey, I just sent my super expensive cosplay
Yes.
and I'm not gonna, I don't
And
know
I'm
where
not.
it's
Yeah.
going.
Can you imagine getting there and your suitcase still hasn't arrived?
Yeah. Exactly.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
you're like, where the F is my armor?
Yeah. 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 So, like I said, just all of that stuff. Yeah. You really, really have to love cosplay, to go through all of that. So again, kudos to anybody that did. Um, let alone something complicated, like the droideka, right, with moving parts and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, how are you getting through the crowds, like without somebody, breaking something off from you?
Mhm.
There was a guy dressed as a man. That dude was nuts, dude. Like full on dragging the gigantic hands. I'm like, dude, people are like stepping on your hands, dude. Like you, I would be. Oh my god, I would be so stressed out. Um, but he looked amazing. I mean, for sure, right? He looked super super cool. I've never seen anybody cosplay a man, first of all. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's sick.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, plenty of awesome cosplayers. Like I said, more than I thought there was gonna be. Plenty of people. I haven't seen the numbers. I don't know if you guys have. I don't know what the assistants, attendance, sorry, numbers are for the show. Um,
I'll look it up.
yeah, I haven't seen it, but I haven't looked it up either. So
It's probably low.
I would think in comparison, yes, but like I said, I was surprised. Like Friday really surprised me. The Friday was bumping, and it's
I mean, from the
usually
videos, it looked like a heavy crowd, but I mean, again, I'm seeing it through your lens, right? So I don't get the whole like aerial shots, but it looked pretty packed. I mean,
yeah. And I mean the place was big. Don't get me wrong, but it was very sick. It was different buildings kind of thing, right? So
mhm.
not everybody was on the same, uh, I guess,
Building.
area. Yeah. It was, imagine like three little convention centers that were just like connected.
Hmm.
So you had, like the live stage and the hot toys in one, and then like the rest of the like the manga stuff and visions in another one, and some of the shops, like third party shops, and then in another one there was like artist alley. Um, and so you were connected by hallways, of course, but basically you were kind of a little bit divided that way. Um, the celebration stage, which is in another building, stadium type of thing, I guess. Um, and the other projection stages were within the other buildings too. But yeah, like I said, I am curious to see those numbers.
I have that number for you.
Nice, hit me.
105,000 people.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah, from 125 countries in attendance, which is an 8% increase in overall attendance from the last celebration,
Yep.
which took place in London.
Does it say where does like Chicago or Anaheim fall?
Um,
Because I'm curious. I thought Chicago was nuts, but Chicago was a gigantic place.
I felt the only reason why Anaheim was crazy was because this was after COVID.
Yeah.
So a lot of people I want to get out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Mm,
Let me say hi to Black
Hold
Star
on.
9. What's going on,
Yeah, here,
brother?
if you wanna do the chat, if you wanna
No
start up from
worries.
the beginning. So and I'll just rant real quick. So Orlando in 2017 was 70,000 people.
Yeah.
Celebration Chicago in 2019 was 65,000 people.
Oh, even less. Okay.
Anaheim, hold on, canceled due to COVID.
Hmm.
Then Europe. Oh, they don't have the number for Europe. How come?
Hmm.
Well, I was standing in line to get my auto from Diego Luna. A guy had the Anaheim 2020 shirt, the ones that they made initially because it was going to happen in 2020, and they got sent out, and
Yeah.
then it got canceled. So he had like the OG, um, never happened Anaheim 2020.
Ghost
That was
Con.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to that and my thing got I was like, what the fuck? Why COVID?
Yeah.
All right, they don't have the number actually for London.
Really? That's
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it though.
What about Anaheim 2022? Because 105, that's sounding like the biggest attendance recently, at least. Here, I want to say hi to some people
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna look that up.
We got Crafton only them saying what up. He's like, but Jose, I will send you the Hasbro update, so it's fine. I know. I'm just saying, if I wasn't such a great person, I would have seen them live. That's all I was saying. We got James Action Figures Toy Man. What's going on, man? Do you guys collect wrestling figures? I do not. I don't know anything about wrestling except it comes out on TV sometimes.
What is wrong with you?
Let's see.
He
Obi
doesn't know
picking on
about
relics. What's going on, brother?
Riptide. He doesn't
Yeah,
know
right.
about Riptide.
I
Hi,
heard Tony got
OBP.
2 of the Anakin. I think he only got 1. Or okay, fine.
Nah,
When I saw
Tony.
Tony, he only had 1 in his possession. I don't know
He
if he
probably
had
went and
dropped
got
off the
another
other one.
one.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he did pick up
So
2, but I think he was picking it up for somebody.
yeah, I was gonna say. Let's see. Oh, so what I was gonna say is Black Star 9. What's going on, brother? But he was out there also in Japan, so we got to
Oh,
hang out for a
really?
little bit. Yeah, so Pablo was out there with his family as well,
Oh, that's
and kudos to him because he told me about the trading spot for patches and stickers and stuff. So I got to do that
mm-hmm.
the last day. Um, and he traded a bunch of stuff, dude. He was like trade king. Like he had like 200 different patches and stuff. Like he was killing it out there. I only did it the last day after I bumped into him actually. And then the kid got into it. He's like, "Give me stickers, give me patches. I'm gonna go trade." And he was just like, "Trade, trade." And then he like ran out of the ones that I had given him, and
Mm-hmm.
people were just giving him stuff because I mean he's a kid, so they're like, "Oh, here you go. Oh, here's a sticker. Oh, here's a patch." I'm like, "Bro, I gotta take you to every convention. Like, what the hell? Like,
Mhm.
you're walking away with more stuff than I am."
Dude, they seriously don't have a number for
Anaheim,
no, they don't have a number for England.
that's odd.
Yeah, that's very odd. Oh, look. R- RMD is here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call
what up,
him
man?
the travel tourist of IG of Japan.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I loved all his videos.
I know he did great. We also got Star Wars Gazer in the house. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what is that
Hola.
guy?
And let me see. Sorry, I'm catching up, guys. We got Vicente saying, "I wanted that stormtrooper." Yeah, to be honest with you, out of the hot toys, that was the one that I was leaning more towards. Just because that's the one that it was like very obviously, like Japanese, right? Like, um, just by looking at it, you kind of knew what the deal was. Don't get me wrong, that Anakin is nuts, and if you guys are gonna own just one Anakin, that was probably it, like that version. Um,
You
not
can still
cheap,
get it on
that's for
eBay
sure.
for $1,400.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can still get it. I mean, it's still
Well, I
obtainable.
think they're gonna be releasing it to the
I
public.
don't know. I don't know what I think so, but I don't know what date that was coming. I would assume May the
Yeah.
4th, but
So my understanding is that whatever they had at Celebration, that was an exclusive version,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
Now
okay.
I don't know what that means. Like maybe you got an extra face or something at Celebration, and
Mm-hmm.
then like you said, right? Like for the general public, there'll be some without something, right? Like or less or minus something. It's kind of weird. The verbiage for the exclusives this time around was very confusing.
Very confusing. Yeah.
It happened to me actually, and I blame Tony for many things, but for this specifically is the SH Figure Arts. They so day one Friday, I went around the booths. And I'm like, all right, what's the actual exclusive, right? Like, why should I be picking up here, right, as opposed to just getting it, later on? Hot Toys was out of the question, as I mentioned, and so I went to SH Figure Arts. I'm like, okay, Japanese company, they gotta have something, just for here. Nothing, dude. Like it was just they were unveiling like the General Grievous, but nothing marked exclusive. Everything run of the mill, I guess, or normal.
That
I was like, all right,
sucks.
that kind of sucks. Next day, as I'm in line, I see a post from Tony. It was like, oh, the Revenge of the Sith Anakin is Japan only. And I'm like, dude, I was there yesterday. Like that was not. And he posted a picture, but it was marked Japan only on their booth, and I was like, dude, I could have sworn I was there yesterday, and I didn't see anything. So I go in and that morning, and I head out, and sure enough, the Anakin is marked Japan only. I was like, oh, badass. I was like, I'm getting Anakin. I was like, I like the figure anyways, and if it's Japan only, like for sure. So I picked it up. And then on Sunday, they updated again, and they had a whole block of figures encased, and it just said Japan only. I'm like, so what is going on, guys?
They're just slow playing you. They're
Like,
slow playing you. That's what
I
it
was like,
is.
first of all, I'm not buying all of those. Like that, I'm done. Like, I'm cool with my Anakin. I liked it a lot, but I'm like, I'm not playing. I'm not gonna buy 20 figures now, because they're not that cheap either, right? So, yeah. So, like I said, it was kind of weird the way they handled some of the exclusives. Um, we've talked about the Ronin. That was not cool either. Um, and a buddy of mine actually confronted them about it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Went up
I like
to
how I ordered this on a Friday and got it on a Saturday.
yeah,
That was nuts.
and so that Saturday actually, a buddy of mine went up to Hasbro, right, to the booth, because they had Hasbro reps there, and he's like, "Hey, so why did I buy this yesterday here? And if I could have just gotten it at home, like faster, without me carrying it in my suitcase."
And what did they say?
And well, I mean, Hasbro being Hasbro, they gave the most BS like answer ever. They're like, "Oh, that's just like somebody selling it on like through Amazon, right? Like a third party seller selling it through Amazon." And my buddy was like, "Pretty sure it says like Star Wars, like official store or whatever."
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, and so they're like, "Oh no, like that's probably not right, or that's probably like just the name of the again like a third party seller store."
No, my thing said
And that
Star Wars
I know
Star Wars.
everybody was
official.
posting about it. Yeah,
Yeah. That's why when you made the post about it,
yeah,
Jose, I like I didn't mean to be a bitch, but I like commented on your thing going, dude, you could have just gotten it at home.
I know.
And I
That's
was
why.
like, the link is in my story. And like as soon as I got the link, I sent it to like a shit ton of people. And I was
Yeah,
like, go buy this now.
and to be honest, you were like the third person at that point, to send me the link. I'm like, I know, but it's already done.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't want to be that guy, but I was like, man,
And
I
I
have
was
to send it to
laughing
you.
because I'm
yeah,
seeing people like I'm seeing people selling it for like $100, and I'm like,
yeah,
bro, I just picked it up for
yeah,
$64.99, and it's
yeah, which
coming
is
to my house
cool, right?
tomorrow.
Like I'm totally up for not paying the scalpers, right? That's great. But if you're literally advertising it as a Japan Celebration
Exclusive.
exclusive only, that's literally the only thing they had marked as exclusive on their whole catalog. You could buy helmets, you could buy lightsabers, you could buy Black Series, and then that was like the only item, right? And I'm like, so like, why not just say, you can get it here first, or first release to market or something, like, because people were doing that too, right? They weren't exclusive. It was just like, you can buy it here at Celebration first, then it's
Yeah.
going to release out in the market for everybody. So I was like, I don't know why you didn't just say that, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, if you want it, you can get it right now, but it will be made available later. Now, don't make it available like,
The
20
same
exactly
time.
the same night, right?
2 hours later.
Yeah,
Exactly.
2 hours
But
later.
you could have said that, right? It's like, hey guys, if you really want it, you can get it right now here at our booth, right, during Celebration. And
Is
if
there
not,
any difference?
not that I have seen. Initially, somebody had reported that there was going to be a wide release version, right, um, for the regular market. But
Uh-huh.
from what I have seen, I think it's the same right now. I mean, I think that's the Celebration non-exclusive.
Formerly
Yeah,
known
because
as the exclusive.
Exactly.
yeah, because dude, like I had one of my really good friends, Chris, was messaging me and he was like, dude, he's like, do you know anybody that's going to Japan? Could they probably get me the Ronin? I was like, bro, it's a bulky ass box.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
ask any of my friends to do me this favor. I was like, I feel bad. I was like, I guarantee you they're not gonna get this for me. And then Dante from Rebel Scum sent me the link and he was like, hey, Nilda, I know that you wanted this figure so bad. Here's the link. And I clicked on it and I was like, oh my God. So then I messaged my buddy Vicente, I messaged my buddy Paul, and then I messaged my buddy Chris, and I was like, buy this now. I was like, no one's posting this online. I'm like, buy it now because it's gonna sell out. And then like within an hour, it's sold out. It's sold out on Amazon. You couldn't find it anywhere. And then I think like 3 days later, Hasbro was like, oh yeah, you can go buy it on HasbroPulse.com.
Yeah. And it came back on Amazon too.
And then
So
it came back on Amazon.
yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. So Pablo saying London was 8%. Whoop.
Well, I think both you and I pressed the button at the same time.
No, okay, you click it.
You click it.
Okay. Nobody else
My hands
click
are
anything.
up. My hands are up.
I'm clicking it.
Yeah. London celebration at 96. Yeah, just about. I mean, if we do the backtrack calculation. But what I was going to say is, so Japan was actually way more people than I thought. Like, yeah, so I thought it might have been just me, my perception. But no, apparently this one blew out of the water pretty much all of the previous ones, or at least the recent ones. So that's kind of nuts. That is kind of nuts. Now, I loved seeing Japanese people, right? Like on the train and stuff that were dressed up, to go to celebration, because a lot of them were actually older people, and a lot of them were actually ladies, like like what they looked to be like housewives, or like older ladies dressed in their Star Wars shirt with their Star Wars bag, just heading to celebration. And I thought that was so freaking cool to see, and I saw that every day while on the train, to get to the place. So I just kind of loved that, how they were just just showing their fandom, right? Like, and I thought it was really cool. But yeah, definitely, a lot of Japanese people, but a lot of international people, a lot. I don't know what the makeup of those 105,000 people are, but I would probably say it's half and half. Like, I think half of those were yeah. I saw a lot of international people.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just to circle back to the Ronin, it is still on Amazon, $69.99.
There you go. Get it if you haven't. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, dude, like, if you're gonna do it, that's fine, but don't tell people,
it's an exclusive.
Exactly, right? That's my gripe with it.
Or what they could have done was, hey, we're gonna give you one, like, for instance, here, like, I don't keep meaning to like show the box, but like, instead of where it says here Black Series, this could have been in Japanese. Make it just the Japanese Black Series exclusive, and then the ones in America get the English writing, and then like the inside with the inscripts about the Ronin, this should have been all in Japanese.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. It was one of those things
if I bought that and had to carry this big ass thing.
Thank you for reminding me that. But yeah, so Hasbro doing things as Hasbro does.
Hasbro does.
They actually had the thing to buy it there, right? Which they haven't done before, or they haven't done for a while, right? Like the past two celebrations, all you would get is a QR code, and you would order it, and you would get it, at home.
Yeah.
And that never really felt like very exciting, right? Because you're like, by the time I get it, I'm like, oh yeah, like this was cool, but it's not the same as when you pick it up, at the show, right? Like when they show it and you can actually buy it. And then they decide to do stuff like this. So I'm like, you guys, you take one step forward and like 15 steps back. So yeah.
Jose's probably getting all our messages that day, and he's like,
yeah, I sent it to him, and he's like, "Oh, I already know."
Yeah. By the time Mike
next
me, I was like,
I got.
It was like the 10th one. I'm like, I know, buddy, I know. But yeah,
I'm sitting in my living room laughing because I was like, I got the box, and these people are trying to get it.
Yeah, dude. And so my buddy that was in line, he texted me, like, hey man, did you get the Ronin? I was like, yes. And I told him, I was like, don't get it, it's on Amazon. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh. And I sent him the link, and he's the one who asked him about it, because he was already in line that morning to get it, because he got there early. And again, that kind of like BS answer. So yeah, I was like, dude, don't buy it, like don't carry the thing, just order it on Amazon.
I probably would have told him, like, listen, don't bullshit me, don't bullshit a bullshitter.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a dope ass box. I haven't seen the figures out of the box. I don't know if anybody's taken them out yet,
Oh, I
Maybe
did.
Bob. Did you?
Yeah,
Did you do a
I
review
took it.
on it?
Yeah, I didn't do a review. Like I did a cool video on it,
Oh,
and like for some reason, I don't know why. Like when I was watching Visions, especially like with the Ronin stuff, all I kept thinking about was like Wu Tang in my mind because they're so big on like Japanese films.
Yeah.
So like when I did the unboxing for this, like that's what I played. I played Wu Tang in the background. Plus, I love the fact that they had announced that Celebration that they're rehashing this character again. So
Yep. It's coming back.
yeah, I ideally would like to leave it in the box now. I probably like when I move and like build my actual like massive toy room. I have a lot of like Japanese inspired Star Wars artwork. So I'm probably gonna like center that and then probably have like Brian from Brian Makes a Dioramas make me like the diorama scene from the Ronin so I can put him in there.
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
gonna have
Nice.
to go find your video because I missed it.
It's on Instagram.
Ah,
Unless
But yeah.
Kenobi knows how to do his magic, because I still suck on this sharing stuff, and you can see it, or you can see it later.
We're gonna
we'll
share
find
it. I'll find it
Whatever you
out.
want to do. JT, by the way, this guy had the sickest Star Killer cosplay in Japan, which he actually made the Star Wars video for them
Oh, the
like
highlight.
thinking, yeah, the highlight.
Oh,
His
nice.
Star
I didn't see
Killer
that.
was sick. And I know he was waiting for a long time.
All
Dave's
right.
Dimension is speaking my language. Why not cross promote with Wu Tang? Star Wars meets Man with Iron Fist starring the RZA.
Stop.
Oh my god. Please. I would
Stop
love
doing that.
that.
just put it out in the universe. It'll happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the
Every time I think about Star Wars, like especially like Ronin stuff, I just think of Wu Tang. Like it would just be phenomenal.
yep.
So yeah,
This
this
is
is
it, right?
yeah, this is the video.
Let me see if it'll maybe it'll take us down with audio, but let's try it. Yeah.
Oh,
There you go. Now,
okay.
did you get to mess with the cape?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Because that's supposed to be the big thing, that it's the first to Black Series. Um bendy wire, right? Cape.
Oh,
So
posable.
yeah, exactly.
Wow,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
pretty
sick.
dope.
The what?
I've passed on it. I've passed on the figure. I
Dude,
might have to go get it now.
Just buy it. Just buy it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna buy the Ronin, get this version, right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be other versions. Like, let's just put that out there. We know they're not gonna let this one go that easy. But supposedly, the wider release version will have regular plastic molded cape.
Cape.
Like
Yeah.
it's supposed to like not have the bendy one. But who knows? At this point, this might be the wide release, and they won't release it for another year or so. But yeah. So should we jump into Andor? I kind of feel like we've talked quite a bit about
Yes.
Celebration.
I will only ask one question though. Any of you people saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters?
Twice.
Ooh,
Awesome.
very
I
nice.
saw it 3 times.
Yeah, I saw it last night. And I saw it on Sunday. I was still like half jet lagged, so I like dozed off, like like in the middle. But yeah, I saw it Sunday and I saw it last night with the family.
Can I just say one thing? So even though I've seen it 1,000 times, I own it on VHS, DVD. What else? I have it on Steelbook, Blu-ray. Like I have every variation of it. I've read the books, but rewatching it again on film, and especially because I watched it 3 times and I was able to catch like different scenes, it is like the saddest, excuse my language, it is the saddest fucking Star Wars movie of all time. Like, it's really sad. The manipulation of Anakin Skywalker, like, I felt so bad for him
From both
Yeah,
sides, not
from
just
both
from the dark
sides.
side. Both sides were like, we're going to use you.
Like,
exactly.
holy crap. Like, I felt really bad. And it got to a point that, like, when we left the theater, Craig and I were sitting in our Florida room, and I kept telling him for like, I was ranting for like 30 minutes. And I was just like, holy crap. I was like, this was extremely sad from like now seeing it in the theaters, which, I agree with Dave's dimension. There was nothing like seeing this film
Yeah,
in theaters. And I got to see it in like the XD version of it, which was
that's what I wanted.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the like the first night I went to go see it, I saw it like 5 rows before the screen because I wanted to
Mm,
feel like the Mustafar fight in my face.
yeah.
But then the other 2 days, I saw it a little bit further back. But like in general, it's besides Rogue One, it is the saddest freaking Star Wars film that I've ever seen. Like, I teared up a couple times.
I was actually half hopeful before they actually released it that they would do an IMAX release.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They didn't, of course.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity. But yeah, I was like, please, please do it in IMAX. I would love to see it. But I mean, it's it's awesome to see it back in theaters. But I gotta be honest with you guys, I feel that that was like the bare minimum they were supposed
Oh
to do,
yeah.
for the 20th anniversary. Um, if they really wanted to, celebrate it, I would have added, you know, two deleted scenes, from the ones we've all seen on the DVDs. Just throw them in
Yeah.
there, you know, just throw them in there. Um, give us an IMAX release. Give something like a little bit extra. I know there's a Hayden Christensen clip right, like at the beginning.
They should have
Um,
done all the characters
but
I
together.
was about to say they
exactly,
should have
yeah,
done
Where the
so
hell was
many.
Natalie Portman?
exactly,
Yep.
right. Or Ewan for that matter. It's not like they don't talk to him, right? Like he's on their stuff now. So I'm like, you gotta gotten, the big three. Uh, throw in Samuel L. Jackson, right? Like,
At the
Well,
very end, at the end credit, he
well,
comes out, I ain't
they
dead,
yeah,
did.
motherfucker.
They
yeah,
did. They used
exactly.
Samuel
Oh, they did?
Jackson and Hayden. No, well, they
No,
had Samuel Jackson and
yeah,
Hayden do the theater in California
in
and El
Oh yeah,
California,
yeah,
Capitan,
yeah.
yeah,
and he showed up, and like everybody lost their minds, which
I'm
sucks
saying do
because
that
I would have
for the
loved to
movie.
have been there.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like you could have gotten them to record a 30-second thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Like I said, it's just maybe I'm too picky, but I'm like, out of the prequels, right? Out of the prequel theory trilogy, this is the one that I think everybody gravitates towards, right? Like this is usually the favorite one out of episode 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
This is some people's favorite Star Wars period, right? Like out
Yep.
of 9, right?
Yep.
So I'm like, you have a good thing going on. It's a 20th anniversary. You didn't do squat otherwise, right? You didn't do, celebration didn't have anything related to episode 3 20th anniversary. Like,
Which
oh,
blows my mind.
yeah.
That blew my mind. I remember telling you guys that I thought that maybe I kept announcing during my live stream. I was like, yo, if you really want to get people hyped the fuck up for Revenge of the Sith, especially for the 20 year, bring Hayden, bring Ewan, bring Natalie,
Natalie would
bring
have been huge.
Samuel Jackson, bring Anthony Daniels. You could have had, like, if you literally had the whole entire cast there, it would have been the greatest celebration ever.
Yep.
And I honestly, I felt like they dropped the ball. There was no huge celebration for it.
They had nothing, dude. Not
Nothing.
even like, if you think about it, they didn't even have merch for it. There was no
That
t-shirt that said,
sucks.
like 20th anniversary. Like, I don't know. I don't know who runs these things. I don't know what what they're smoking, but yeah.
I agree with Ricky. They haven't done
Yep.
shit for Attack of the Clones. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping
Yep.
that I would love to see that in theaters.
Yeah, exactly. Um so yeah, they gotta go extremely like all out for the 50th anniversary. Coming up in LA. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed, to be honest with you, right? Because again, Revenge of the Sith, one of my favorite ones in the entire saga. Loved seeing it in theaters again, but like I said, I just kind of wanted that little extra, like on it, and they could have done it easily.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's out of theaters tonight, so I'm
Yeah,
like,
today was the
why?
last night.
I'm like, why
Yeah.
couldn't you leave it 2 weeks? I'm
If
not saying leave
we
it for a month, but
if we didn't do this live stream, I was actually gonna go and see it for a fourth
nice,
time.
nice. Well, I'm sorry that we prevented you from it,
Oh no, I don't
but
care. I'm not
but
like
yeah,
just too much
it's
popcorn eating in the past couple days.
yeah. Oh, it's
Whoa.
funny you
You
mentioned
can
that
never
because
have too much popcorn.
yeah, and I always say that, but then my stomach says otherwise. But
Yeah,
so
same.
on Sunday, I took the kid to see Minecraft movie in the morning,
Oh
and then at night
God.
I went with my buddy to see episode 3. So I had something like 7 buckets of popcorn that day. Anyway,
Did
not the
they
point.
did they lose their shit at the Minecraft movie? Because I've been seeing videos of
No,
people like going nuts at the Minecraft movie.
yeah, and I never understood why, but no, no, it was fine. It was whatever.
Chicken
The
jockey?
kid, yeah, the kid was like, "You can't do that on the game." I'm like, I wouldn't judge this movie by that metric, kid.
Yeah.
Guys, don't say this. I would love to have Kathleen Kennedy at the Star Wars celebration, hopefully signing. I will get a signature from her.
Yeah, right. Um, yeah,
Will
she's
you get
not.
it
She's not going
tattooed on
anywhere.
you?
She's not going
She,
anywhere. She's like Palpatine.
yeah, she
Somehow she
will.
returned.
Yeah.
She will change roles,
But
maybe,
she'll never go
but
anywhere.
exactly. But she's not
Yeah.
leaving. Like, she's not gonna be out. Out. Like people think, like, oh, fired or something like that. That's not gonna happen.
You know what the thing that sucks is I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this comment that I'm about to say. Yes, I'm not a fan of Kathleen Kennedy, but I feel like people harp more on the negative stuff than on some of the positive stuff that she has brought to
Yeah,
Star Wars or just in general to Lucasfilm.
that's what people don't remember. Like, she's been in this like for what 30, 40
For a
years at
long
this
time.
point.
Yep.
Yes.
A long time.
And she's had positive stuff and she's also
Exactly.
had some negative stuff,
Yeah.
which it counteracts not everybody can be perfect. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
every Star Wars film we're gonna get is amazing.
George
Like,
Lucas gave us Jar Jar, which was not liked for many, many years. So
Exactly.
and now he's a big fucking thing. Everybody
yep.
loves him.
Yep.
Nobody liked Ahsoka's character when she first came out, except for me, but
True.
now she's one of the second most popular characters in Star Wars.
Yep.
So, like I said, yes, we harp on all the bad stuff about Kathleen Kennedy, but she's also given us some good stuff too.
Yeah. 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 For sure. I mean,
I poke fun at that too, but I do put that in my comments. Like, we take the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like there's times she's got us some bangers and then not so much. So
yeah.
but
Exactly.
it's that saying that you'll never get told a good job. You only hear about it when you do a bad job. So that's definitely true in this case here. Like people harp on the negative and always forget the good stuff.
Exactly.
See, I love this comment that Obi said. I wonder how much negative stuff gets pinned on KK when she's not the only one on the top, which is true.
Oh,
Imagine all this bad shit that's been happening with Star Wars literally has not been her fault. And she's just been the one going, whatever. They're gonna blame me anyway. So just
Yeah.
I'll take
just
roll
pin it
with
on. Yeah, I'll just roll with it. I'll
Yeah.
take the heat.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Mhm.
Yep. So let's just say, and God forbid that Mando and Grogu comes out and it's not good at all. Like, where's the blame go for that? Right?
Yep.
We'll see who the scapegoat is. It's not going to happen. Let's not even think about that.
No, so they showed us some footage, right, at Celebration. And I'm
yes,
sure
they
it's
did.
out there. Yeah. And I'm sure it's out there anyway. But if I'm being honest, you guys, like it was fun, right? Like, the scenes look very fun, the action looks amazing, but I didn't really get much like story-wise, right? And I'm hoping that's on purpose, right? Like I'm hoping they're like, we're just gonna show you spectacle, we're gonna leave the story, for later on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't much, that really caught your eye in terms of, like I said, characters or like what's actually going on, right? It was just explosion, explosion. AT-ATs, troopers, Mando, of course, fighting Grogu, and rap, right? But I'm like, okay, you know what? It's fine to get us hyped, but I really do hope there's a little bit more to the story, right? um, because yeah, there really wasn't much at that. I don't know if I can call it a trailer. I think it was more like a sizzle reel, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so Mando and Grogu will be a fun movie. I have no doubts about that. Will it be a good story? I don't know. I hope that it will be, but I don't know at this point.
Real quick before we get into Andor, Jose, I just sent this to you if you want to blow this up. So our buddy Blackstar did post on Instagram
Let me
the
look them up.
difference between the Hasbro Pulse and the Celebration Ronin figure. So there is a huge difference.
Let me see real
Oh,
quick. Hold on. Choo, 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 choo.
I'm glad he posted this because I was looking.
Mm-mm-mm.
did Jose get the snag of the century?
He got the actual Japanese one. And
Oh, interesting.
yeah, you see it?
I do, but let me. First of all, let me hard it. Second, let me share again because I had taken it off. Choo, choo, choo. Nilda, I'm deleting all of your past streams. Just FYI.
That's fine.
I'm kidding. All right. What do we have here? Can I zoom in? Nope, I cannot. But if you guys can tell here from the picture, did you notice this right here, just underneath the wrap? That's
Yeah,
in that's in
Japanese.
Japanese.
That's not a part of the box. That's
The ribbon.
like little sleeve, right?
There you
Yeah.
go. That's a better picture.
Oh, I wonder
But
how many
he
people
also,
mistakenly just took that off and threw it away.
yeah, but yeah, see?
Oh,
Ah,
okay.
interesting.
See, I got the Hasbro Pulse one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Black Star, because I was like, so there is a difference.
There is a difference, yeah.
It's not a
There you go, Jose.
drastic difference, but it's a difference.
Yeah.
He said, check
Check
your
your
messages.
message. Who? Me? I never check my messages. And I'm about to, but not
I think
live.
it's gonna be you, Jose, to check your message.
Roger checking. That's it. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
I I'm gonna say I would still feel cheated there. I mean, got
Oh,
some
so
removable verbiage.
there's differences on the inside of the box as well.
Oh boy, what is it?
Yeah.
I need to see this.
Just like you said, Nilda, actually. Hold on.
It is in Japanese,
Said-
isn't it?
Yes. So
Oh,
this is the Pablo. Are these yours? Did you order both? High roller, did you? Because this looks like his house. That's why. Um, so I'm assuming this is the Hasbro Pulse. Sorry, I can't zoom in on Instagram.
No, it's fine.
And this is the celebration.
I want the Japanese one.
There you go. All right. So there is a difference. Cool. But if you're an opener, just get the one from Amazon.
yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you could sell those boxes though, because that's going to be a hot commodity. The artwork on there's beautiful, just on the outside.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like I like everything about this exclusive. Like it looks beautiful. They give you like a little bit of a diorama with the packaging.
Yeah.
I really liked it. That's the thing. Like, and especially once I saw it live, I was like, dude, yeah, that's a pickup for sure. But okay, well, there you go, guys. So there is some differences at least. And yes, he did. He got both.
Yep.
Ooh, you high roller, you. I love it.
High roller.
We got nerd affiliated in the house. What's up, everyone? Welcome home, Kenobi. Thank you. I am highly depressed. Appreciate it, brother. All right. So
Depressed Kenobi.
yeah, like highly. Everything sucks compared to over there. But yeah, super happy to be back. All right. Should we wrap up
Yeah,
with Andor?
let's dive deep.
All right. So how do you want to do this? You want to go? Oh, hold on. Sorry, he sent more. Okay, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, he just sent me the pictures too.
Yeah.
Assuming
Yeah.
we're all caught up 1 through 6, correct? And nobody's Spoiler alerts for anybody that has not watched it. It's about to happen.
Yes. If you have not watched the show,
Warning,
spoiler alert.
warning.
or you just don't care about the show.
Or yeah, or you just don't
Yeah.
care about the show.
Yeah, because I've seen some of that. I've already seen some of that. Come across my feed. Um, that's totally fine. I mean, the show is
Yep.
definitely not for everybody. Um, but so do we give our general thoughts? Do we go episode by episode, arc by arc? How do we break this down?
I guess we can do episode by episode if you want.
I mean, I kind of feel like the overall arc, because um,
Well, I like the chunks that they're doing. So it's like the mini movie, like movie one. Like
yeah,
that's
exactly.
kind of how I would been grading it, like as a whole. Individually, like yeah, you could get nitty gritty on it. I don't know if we have the time for it, but I would say chunk it.
Yeah. Um, okay, so I just finished, actually I should say, the third episode, or the sixth episode, I'm sorry, the third episode of this new arc today. um I'm gonna start. I'm kind of done with the whole this, being a rebel is difficult trip that they got us on. I was okay with it for the first arc. Second arc, I'm like, I kind of need a little bit more than this. um it's great dialogue, it's great storytelling, but we are halfway into the show already, which is nuts to say. So we got two more arcs, six more episodes left, and I just kind of would like to see a little bit more rebellion on my rebellion show. um like I said, I was okay with it for the first arc, the first three episodes. I'm like, all right, I get it. Empire equals bad. Um, that one episode with Biggs, I was like, okay, Empire equals really, really bad.
Really, really.
It,
Um,
Yeah.
it took me a hot minute to
yeah.
watch that episode. I cringed, I stopped, I cried, I
So
paused,
yeah.
I
Oh,
went to the bathroom, I cried.
to make it worse, so we were coming back from Japan, right? And I saw episode one on the plane, and then I was like, this sucks. I'm getting dizzy. Like I'm not even like paying attention to what's going on. So I was like, I'll just watch them once I get home. So we get home right over the weekend, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch it. Episodes two and three, right? And the kid decides to join. Like he's shown no interest in Andor ever, and he's like, "Oh, let me watch it." I was like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, and I told him, I was like, "It's a lot of talking, okay? There's not a whole lot of action probably gonna happen." He's like, "Oh, that's fine." And then that episode happens, and I'm like, I'm just cringing. I'm like, "Nope." I was like, "This is literally the worst thing to watch with the kid." He didn't ask anything, but I could tell he had questions, right? So there I am, you know, halfway trying to explain,
What
yet
just happened?
not, right? Yet not really get into it, of what just happened. And all he said is like, "Oh, he really wanted to kiss her, I guess." And I was like, "Yeah, he really did." He's like, "And she didn't want to, right?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's basically what happened. All right.
How old
That's
is
not
he?
8.
Oh yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. So I was like, that's
Yeah.
that's that's why, right? And but I was like, dang, they went for it. I was like, they really went for it. They definitely didn't mince words. She flat out says it, right?
Yep.
Let's not repeat it
I thought.
because then the YouTubes will take us down. But yeah,
Yes.
I was like, wow, okay, that was. And I saw Tony Gilroy's statement a couple days back, like about it, right? And while the logic is sound, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like we know that the Empire is bad, right?
I just didn't know it was this bad.
Exactly, right. And I'm like, I just, I don't know if we needed that. Um, again, in the overall, it makes sense, right? If you're trying to tell the story of an oppressor and the oppressed, right? That is definitely I don't know what to call it, but a factor, right? That definitely goes into it.
Hmm.
But I was like, but I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about seeing it like in Star Wars, right? That was my only thing. I'm like, it's a first, and hopefully last. Um, but I was like, okay, I try to move on past it, right, and try to, I'm like, okay, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But then coming back to this arc for this week, uh, yeah, Biggs is just all kinds of messed up. Um, all kinds of messed up with due reason, obviously. But I'm like, dude, she needs a break. I was like, she needs a win, right? And then she kind of gets it right at the end of the last episode, or episode 6. So I was like, all right, at least she got some payback. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm kind of getting a little bit tired of
Dialogue.
the well, I don't mind the dialogue. The dialogue is good. It's just it's kind of like, if you think about it, it's kind of the same thing every episode. Like, they're showing us how hard it is for each character to stay in the rebellion, right? We got the guy that was loaned off to Saw Gerrera and now is inhaling diesel for some reason. I'm like, all right, you go, girl. I'm not gonna judge. Um, and you got Mon Mothma, which we kind of already knew it was hard for her, right? Like season 1, um, you know, getting getting
Hammered.
yeah, getting hammered, and now going on like a political debate slash art debate with Krennic, right? Um, Luthen always being like told off by the assistant. I'm like, dude, who's running the show? Like, really? Like, it's the lady. Like, she's definitely the one calling the shots. Um, that lady being all paranoid about her radios and stuff. Um, Andor not wanting to, help out some dudes that are definitely gonna get themselves off. Uh, the chicks, the Mon Mothma's cousin, and I'm blanking out on Cinta, right?
Ugh.
That they were finally getting back together. Everything was, looking good, and then of course, tragedy strikes. Um, yeah, but I'm like, okay, but we know this. Like, we know it's a really rough, life, right? That they chose to live in order to like try to make a difference and try to, you know, uh, bring down the empire. But I'm like, we got 6 episodes left of this whole show, right? Because this is the final season. I'm like, I kind of want to see more like of the actual rebellion start taking place.
I think we're gonna see that in the next arc.
I hope so.
Because
I
remember,
really do.
every arc is a different,
It's a year.
BBY.
One
Yeah.
year.
So
Yeah.
like,
Which, by the way, I absolutely love. They're actually typing up
yeah.
BBY
BBY.
Yeah, so you're
every
getting
arc.
like BBY4,
Exactly.
BBY3.
Yeah.
So like at the end, which is BBY1,
Yeah.
it's literally going to lead right into Rogue
Yeah.
One into A New Hope, which
So,
I know for a fact some of us here are going to be booger festing crying.
oh yeah. So what I want to see, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, right? But what I want to see for the next arc is a little bit more leading towards that, right? So I kind of want to see them like different cells getting into contact, right? Because right now
Mhm.
everybody's all like, spread out,
Independent.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Um, we saw some of what Saw Gerrera has, right? Like, he has like a full size, squad of X-wings, right? Like, with him. I'm like, okay, there you go. Like, that's kind of what I want to see, right? If we take Saw Gerrera's X-wings with, General Dodana's ship, and we take, a few bombers that we stole over here, and all of a sudden we got a bit of a fighting force, right?
Mhm.
Like, I kind of want to start seeing that cohesion. To your point, for Rogue One, they had a full-on fleet, right? Like, they had the Rebel fleet. I'm
Yep.
like, okay, but kind of like, I was hoping to see a little bit more of the steps to get to that, right? Um,
I'm kind of with
so
Nilda, like hoping that this is the kind of like these 6 episodes is a catalyst to get us to that point, because all
yeah, me
these
too.
stories are like trying to develop and figure out. Like you're saying, it's tough to be a rebel. But that's the storytelling is really good with it, because if you really think about it, like historically, rebellions didn't just pop off. Like they're
Oh,
like years
absolutely.
and
Like,
years of developing, and like
Yeah.
there's people that are trying to do it the right way, like Mon, she's trying to do it the political way, like try to do that battle. And then there's people behind the scenes that are kind of pushing them and kind of doing their own thing, causing drama behind, or not drama, but causing the rebellion to spark up. It's not like overnight. Like the oppressors are there for a long period before stuff actually kicks off. So I think that kind of taking like a historical look at it, I think they're doing a really good job with that. But when you're talking about a show that we're halfway through, that's
that's
where
what
it
I'm
gets
saying.
kind of like, we need to
If
speed
I
this up
knew
a
we
bit.
still have another season of Andor,
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, this tracks, right? Because like you said, they're building the characters, they're building each individual struggles. But I'm like, dude, you got 6 episodes to wrap this whole thing up. So now you got 12 characters all on separate journeys, right? And in theory, at least I hope, you would have to give some sort of closure, right? To at least to a few of those. We know what happens to Andor, right? Like we know there's not going to be an ending. Yeah, exactly. In this show, but it's going to lead us to Rogue One, and we know the ending there. So, but what about like how do you call it? Like Luthen, for example. Luthen wasn't in Rogue One, right? Um, what about Mon Mothma's cousin, right? Like that kind of stuff. I'm like, you for some of
Yeah.
these characters, you are gonna have to wrap up,
Their
within the
story
show.
arc.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, we
Yeah.
kind of need to pick up the pace here.
They're
Because
definitely painting some darker stuff. We kind of touched on it with Bix, but like her
oh
arc,
yeah,
like it
that
obviously is going to impact, Andor. So
that's what I was gonna say. That's what I'm really curious. Like, where does Biggs go, right? Or not go? But exactly. But how are they gonna play it out?
well,
Also, one thing I forgot to mention was that they I had totally forgotten about Andor's sister
yep.
until Biggs said it. Right? It's like, I'm not your mother, I'm not
Yeah.
your sister. I was like, that's right. This dude was like looking for her
Her
sister. Like,
sister in the first
yeah.
episode of the
And
first season.
that's that is, I guess, not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, so again, a lot of plot points, right? Then I'm like, okay, but they're all good, like once you're watching them, right? Like on the spot. But once you take a step back and you're like, okay, we're halfway there, we have to wrap up all of their stories, maybe not all of them, but a good chunk of their stories in the next 6 episodes. I'm like, all right, we need to progress like faster, I think.
I think we're gonna get a lot of casualties in
I
the
think
next
so.
couple episodes.
I think so too.
And like it was funny. So I like to watch this other YouTube channel called Ringerverse. They always have like they do like different fandoms and stuff like that. And one of the things that they talked about earlier today, and it was like one of the thoughts that I had too, was when we watch Rogue One, we get to see Cassian just being like very cold
Hmm.
and like having no emotion, and you're just trying to understand like where did his
Yeah.
why is he the person that he is?
Yeah.
And I think now with season 2, I think we're slowly getting to see that character develop, and like he's like another Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
It's the tragedy of Cassian Andor.
Yeah.
We know what's going to happen to him. We know he's going to die for a good cause, but it's like what led to that? So
Yeah.
it's like, his mom dying. Now, the woman that he loves, Bix, dying. Or maybe,
Dude,
we don't know what happens to her
his
until
best
we
friend
find
died,
out.
and I thought that
His
was so
best
messed
friend
up. I was
died.
like,
Yep.
dude, they pulled the freaking Queel on us. Like, we didn't even get to see him like
Yeah.
get taken down. I was like, dang it, man. Like Rib Brasso, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I actually liked how they're showing them playing house, right? Um because it's something that both of them really wanted. Neither said it right at the time. And I liked how Biggs was flat out, just tells him, right, like, I love you, right? Like they're so far like into it. They're like, we don't have time to like pretend anymore, right? Like we're in it, we're in this together. And like you said, we know it's not gonna end well, right? Like
Oh yeah.
it can't end well, right? So again, I do want to see that, but I'm like, man, Biggs, like I said, halfway through episode 2, I think, or sorry, episode 5. I keep saying 2 because of the arc. I'm like, yeah, Bix needs a wing. Like Bix is all kinds of messed up, and she needs to like recoup in some uh way, shape, or form. Which again, she kind of did right at the very end of episode 6.
Honestly, for that character and even just the actress, I actually like I talked to Mike about this and I talked to Tierra about it from like different perspectives of it. So it took me like I said, it took me like 3 times to watch that episode
Yeah,
because I'm a woman, so like
yeah, yeah.
any grapes that happen to women, overall it's just a mess up thing. Um, but I think Tony Gilroy possibly had picked her character to probably do it because of the fact that she had previously done a movie where her character in that
That's right.
movie was
That's right.
also part
That's right.
of,
I forgot.
a grape, which was
Yeah.
what is it, the Channing Tatum movie? Oh my god. It's the click, it's with the camera.
Yeah, I
It'll
forget, but
come to
you're
me.
right.
Yeah. Blink Twice.
Blink twice. Yeah.
Yeah. Her character in that movie also suffers a sexual assault thing. So, I remember people complaining all the time that like Star Wars was like the original trilogy Star Wars was a lot of like kiddie stuff and they wanted to see more adult stuff, like kills, Vader doing this, Vader doing that. Well, they kind of gave us adult scenarios of what can happen. We do know that the Empire was, replicating people, was trying to do like mutations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, this is another evil thing to add on there. But I also, like, if you paid attention to that episode before that whole situation happened with Bix, you do notice that he was staring at the farmer's daughter very creepy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So right there could have given you an insight that like this guy's a creep
Yeah.
and we're about to probably see some messed up stuff.
Yeah. Which again, uh, taking I guess out of the story, right? But kudos to the actor, man, because you know he did his job very well, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit too well, but I was like, dude, this dude is portraying like all the little quirks and everything of, like you said, just a flat out creep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just his look, the way he was combing his hair. I'm like, dude, this dude is creeping me out. So kudos to him, for a job well done in a very not so good, character, right? But he did his job right as an actor, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Um, but yeah, I agree, and I don't know. I'm conflicted. Like I said, w- we know that
As
the
a s-
Empire is bad, right?
yeah,
But was it
as a,
necessary to show us like the extent?
I don't know. A lot of people are upset about that. Like,
Yeah,
I've seen the debates about it. People are
sure.
like, you know, we'll call it as it is. I don't think we'll get in trouble for saying the word. I'm going to say sexual assault
Yeah,
instead of grape. But we've never once seen anything like that ever before. But we also, I think the closest thing that you could see to it was like in the original films, Jabba used to kidnap some of these women
yeah,
and make them dress up like slaves, and they were in sexualized clothing.
yep,
So, back then it wasn't so out there, but I guess because time changed, like the society we live in now, you know, maybe that was something, to bring it out to light. But does it belong in Star Wars? I don't know. I can't truthfully answer that question
right,
because from a female's perspective, yeah, I don't think it should have, but that's just me being biased because I'm a woman. But from a Star Wars fan perspective, I'm glad that we're seeing more of more realistic adult versions of what was really going on. The tyranny, the slavery, the slavery versions of the empire. So it's like you never knew if this was really going on.
right.
So I don't know. It's a very conflicting
Yeah, exactly.
question.
Yeah, 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 yeah. If you would have asked me just out of context, right? It's like, hey, you want to see this happen in Star Wars? I'd be like, no, why?
No, no, no. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Because it's the
but
inner child in us still
exactly, very
Yeah.
much so.
thinks it's a, you
Yeah,
know, we're watching Luke and Leia and Han Solo
exactly. Yeah,
going out into a mission of adventure. We're not
yeah,
seeing realistic people being
Yeah.
kidnapped, being
yeah,
tortured, being imprisoned,
yeah.
sexually assaulted, murdered. We never really got to full on see that. With
Right.
this, it's like in your face, like we're
Yep.
watching a real crime being committed, like
Exactly.
actual genocide
Yeah.
being committed
Yeah, we're
in
about to see
Star
that.
Wars. We're
Like,
about to
Yeah.
see that.
yeah. Which, by the way, sorry, not to like digress too much, but I don't know about Joel, but I kind of bumped into the fact that they already had a Gorman massacre.
Yep.
Yeah.
like the Tarkin massacre. I'm like, and y'all were cool with that? Like how y'all got squashed by a cruiser or something like that? I didn't fully understand what the actual happening was. I'm like, you got a monument to it in in the center of the city. I'm like, and that was what they said 15 or 16 years ago, right? At that point,
Yeah.
I'm like, and y'all didn't think to like do something about it, like back then. Like it's until now when they're building a giant,
Monument.
building. That's where you
Yeah.
draw the line.
Now
You're
we
like,
got a
oh no,
problem.
like
Yeah.
yeah, like
When
now
they
we have
first
a
showed up,
zoning
like y'all are
problem.
back. Like, get out of here.
So I don't know
Uh,
that
yeah.
honestly, that specific like part of it, I'm like, I don't, I bumped into it as in I couldn't really swallow, the logic, like because Tarkin was part of the Empire, right, at that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so flat out the Empire, the same Empire that's going on right now, Tarkin, an official that's still, you know, in office or whatever it is right now, did all of this. Everybody knows about it. You literally built a monument for it, and y'all just moved on. Like, it's like, oh yeah, that sucked. Moving on.
I gotta
Well,
But
watch it
everybody should have
again.
known that Tarkin was a creep when he was having these creepy conversations with Leia
exactly.
the first 5 minutes
Yeah,
of the
Yeah.
right.
film.
Yeah. But so
You're
I
stuck in
was
a
like,
ship all day. You're gonna be a creep.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, yeah. But I was like, dude, you couldn't make that. Like, if you needed that monument to represent, something, right? Like, that's because that's kind of the problem that they got, right? With the monument being blocked up and all that stuff. I'm like, you couldn't make that like, uh, okay, fine. If it was like a massacre, but maybe like, I don't know, the separatists, did something, during the Clone Wars or like something even further back. I mean, they're talking about stuff from like 20,000 years ago, man, on the show. And I'm like, you gave me something too recent,
Yeah.
involving the same people today, right? And so I'm like, how? So there's gonna be a Gorman massacre. We all know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
2.0.
gonna, be like the spark, right? Like that's gonna be that's it. We've had enough. Full on fight now. I'm like, but you already had one, so that took away from me like the impact. I'm like, I don't know why that was necessary. If I'm being honest, like I don't know why you had to tell me there was a Gorman massacre already, and only like 15 years ago. So that I actually had a problem with. That I was like, I don't see the purpose of it. Um,
I was saying I got to go back and watch that because I think that was kind of like chopped up to the people. It wasn't, but the Empire was like chopped up to an incident that kind of gave them free reign to kind of do what they wanted for that
Mm-hmm.
time period until they came back. So I don't know if that's kind of what they were loosely trying to say is like, yes, the people were affected by it, but it gave us our freedom to do kind of as we pleased. And now the Empire's back, and now they're building this building, which we suspect it to be an armary, and they're going to basically
maybe you're
take us
right
over.
because
I got to watch it again because there's a lot of dialogue that I was like
yeah, there is.
eating pickles and popcorn, and like I
Yeah, I
got
know.
distracted. So
Uh, you
Did
might
you
be
say
right
pickles and
because
popcorn?
yeah,
yeah,
you
heck yeah,
you
pickles, popcorn.
yeah, get the
Oh,
What?
pickle
jalapenos.
popcorn
Oh,
inside. Yeah.
oh, you gotta
Um,
come to Texas, girl. We'll show you how
exactly.
to
I
do
was
it.
gonna say that
I
that's
will. I
literally
will be in Texas in what, August?
there you go.
So
That's literally a combo
y'all
in
can bring
most
me some pickled popcorn.
yeah, but no,
Heck
that's
yeah.
literally a combo in most movie theaters.
I know. I see a buddy of mine in California always getting like popcorn and putting jalapenos in it, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
good.
That's
I've
yeah.
never had it.
What? I gotta fix that.
All right, so that'll
Um,
be the first thing I have when I come to Texas.
there you go. Nerdophilia says, "I'll only comment on the one thing." LOL. So, for context, Archer has been loving on Andor. He's watched each episode 3 times. I'm being sarcastic. He doesn't like it. I was actually
I
angry
was like,
after
wait a
the
second, what are you
Grapes.
talking
It was
about?
just so unnecessary and wasn't a line we needed in our Star Wars. I know it wants to be Game of Thrones, I'm assuming,
Yep.
uh, but unnecessary. Uh, Tiara Crafton Milam says, I think it's important to see the extent of everything they could have and seeing their loss and add up. Like Biggs and Cassian, they could have had a life, but he's gonna lose Biggs. The
Exactly.
guy, where is it? The guy could be. Oh,
Can I just
that
say
cut
one
off?
thing? The fact that we are all saying that he's gonna lose Bix, a part of me thinks that like now in Rogue One, remember when he's hugging Jin before they
Yeah,
die? He has a smirk on his face. I feel like he's smiling because he's like,
he's going
I'm gonna
home.
go be with
Coming.
my girl.
Yeah,
I'm coming, girl. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which also, by the way, would explain them not kissing, right? Which I know a lot of people were like, "Bro, why wouldn't you just kiss her?" Like
Who
at the
His
Jin?
end.
heart was
Yeah,
already gone. Yep.
yeah, exactly. But now we know.
Well, so like they had an intimate, not it wasn't an intimate moment, but they had an intimate like looking at each other
Yeah,
before they went out when they were in the elevator shaft
yeah,
getting ready to go downstairs. I think he was staring at her because he was getting maybe some feeling and remembrance of Bix. And it's just
yeah,
like, damn, like this is happening again. Like
yeah.
I'm losing somebody that I care about, and I'm gonna be part of that too. But like I said, I feel like at the beach before the explosion happens, I think he has that smirk on his face because he's like, I'm gonna go be with my family, with my mother, my friends who all died for this rebellion.
But that's the thing, right? It's a
Yeah.
beauty that it just enhances Rogue One that much more, right?
As I said, we're
So
going to see it in a different light. So
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
that would
yeah,
be
I
a definite.
know.
That'd be a definite
Um,
one way to do it.
yeah. So Tiara basically mentioned what we said here. I'm sure after the Gorman arc, that's the major catalyst for the Rebel Cells to unite. 6 episodes each, an hour long. There's a lot of time to tie stories up.
Mm-hmm.
We say that, but I'm
Just be
I'm
optimistic.
hoping I'm hoping they
Be
will
Yeah.
optimistic.
for sure. Yeah, a lot. The friend dying was so sad. Yeah, dude, seriously. Um, the name of the song that plays at the end of the episode, the hype song, is called Brass. So, I didn't know that. That's crazy. Hey, what's going on, Marcel? Saying loving Anders so good. Every character getting deep depth through excellent craftsmanship by everyone involved. All right, guys, we'll see you, Ultra Carter. Jabba, Lake Princess Leia, that grossed me out. Yeah, dude, for
I'd be
sure.
grossed out too if I got
Yeah,
licked
no
by Jabba
kidding.
the Hutt.
The big Gorman massacre is going to be the Empire destroying the planet by mining that mineral. Hello there, says Frankie. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you
Hey.
joining, man. Vicente says jalapeno and popcorn. Yes, or picante for sure, man.
Yeah.
What's picante?
Uh, loving Andor so far, much better than season one. They have gone deeper than season one. I will give you that. Uh, picante, I think he's talking about like the salsa.
Oh, Ricky.
Last 3 episodes were really good, and I usually don't like Andor. Really, I didn't know that, Ricky.
What?
I learn stuff about you every day. Vicente says, Dale did say at the end of season 2, we would see Rogue One in a different way. Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yeah.
So one
So,
thing that we keep saying that we're all confident that Bix is going to be on her way out, and it's going to affect Andor heavily. If she goes to the cause, heroically going, do you think that's a huge hit, or if she's taken away from him in an unexpected moment? Because it's already been said, sometimes you have to do things that you necessarily don't want to do.
yeah,
You have to do
so
it for the cause.
it's funny you mentioned that because I hung up on that line that Andor goes to complain to Luthen, right? It's like, hey, you went to see
Mhm.
Biggs and you didn't tell me. And they have that little back and forth, right? And he says, right, it's like, if she doesn't get stronger, you're going to have to decide, like, up to what point it's a problem.
Ugh.
And Andor says, no, you're going to have to decide, right? So I'm like, okay, well, you're kind of both talking about the same thing, right? Like, at what point is she a liability, right?
To them.
To yeah, to them, to the missions, right? And to the cause, obviously. So I'm like, oof. So to your point, I thought about that too. I'm like, what if, that's what really shuts him down, right? Like Andor has to take Biggs out to whatever mission they're doing, or to protect, whoever, right? Or whatever. Um,
That's a fact. What?
yeah. So Frankie says Biggs is definitely gonna die. That is why Andrew was as mad as he was when he was yelling at Jin, telling her that she isn't the only one that has lost people. Yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
Can you imagine if she does become a liability and Cassian is the one that has to get rid of her?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Oof. And
if
that's why maybe he's just a straight up ass in Rogue
yep,
Yep.
One.
yeah, that's
Because
why,
if
right?
you look
He's
at
like,
the end of 6, like, I mean, it looked at first like loose cannon, like she's going into this
I thought so
facility,
too. Yeah,
like you're there's surveillance, you're probably gonna get busted here. And
yeah,
then to
Yeah.
see them walk out together and
yeah, and yeah,
hit
exactly.
the
So I was like,
button,
okay, this was a plan. This was
it's
like
planned.
mission,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, but I was on the same boat as you when I'm like, oh, did she just go off script and found out that this dude was in a facility now in Coruscant, and she's like, no, I gotta get him.
Yep.
Yeah, I was the same way, and until I saw Andor like come out, right, and then he's just like, boop. So I'm like, okay, we're still on track, but for how long, right?
Yeah.
Does that kind of like give her the idea that she can go rogue and free
Exactly,
reign
right.
and do stuff, and
Yeah,
then it's like causing issues, and then
because she
I don't
she
know.
already said it too, right? She said, um, well, she said it to Andor, and she said it to Luthen, like, I'm better than you all think, right? Like I'm stronger than you all think, like I can do more and stuff like that. So
she's also
she's
taking
kind
the
of,
Kool-Aid
yeah, she's also exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of that Kool-Aid.
yeah,
a lot.
yeah, but she was like, hey, like I need to do more, like I can
Yeah.
do more. So she's already thinking about, I need to prove myself. I need to, show that I'm not like weak, I guess. Uh, so yeah, it's I don't know, kind of makes sense. I mean, it kind of
Can
makes
we,
sense.
can we talk about my favorite couple
Let's
of this
go.
show,
Oh
please?
boy.
Is it a little bit of that? A little bit
Yeah.
of cereal?
Please?
Yeah. I was getting ready to talk
Am I
about
the
that.
only person that like am I one of the people out here that is obsessed with Deidre and Sid?
With the
Like,
No,
spider collector, you mean?
I freaking love them. Like
turn
I
off the lights.
yeah,
Exactly.
turn
He's
off
like,
the
oh,
what? I was like,
yeah,
damn, like it is true what they say. Gingers are freaks.
yeah,
Watch
man.
out, girl.
I thought it was funny because he's like, an hour. It's like, that's not enough time. And he's like, an hour.
An hour.
Yeah, thought that was funny.
I
Um,
just love their relationship. And I like for some reason I know shit's not gonna go well.
oh
Oh
yeah,
no.
Somebody's gonna die. I felt like the way that their relationship is gonna end is one of them is gonna be on the Death Star, which I think is gonna be Deidre.
Ooh.
And that's
Yeah.
gonna be the one that's the Death Star that explodes.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
love
I
the
really
scene
enjoy
with
their
the mom.
characters. Oh yeah, that was awesome.
That was,
What?
yeah.
This is what
Deidre
we're gonna
against the
do
mom.
here.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
basically told the mom like this is how it's gonna go. Well, for instance, if anybody out there like, like it's a very relatable show with that character because with that relationship because if you're someone who is dating somebody and you have a mother-in-law that's like very like that,
right.
you kind of like as a man, I think you kind of want to have a Deidre as a girlfriend to
Oh yeah,
basically put your mom in check because she's basically emasculating you. So I just love the fact that she like told the mom like, nope, this is how it's gonna go, and we'll see you from time to
Yeah.
time, and you're just gonna have to deal with it.
yeah,
He'll call you Sunday and you're gonna like it. Like,
Yeah,
exactly.
he'll call you Sunday, and you're gonna like it. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of the things that he's like severely attracted to. That he likes that, you
Oh yeah,
know, she's not the man of the relationship, even though people call him a simp, which I'm still trying to understand that freaking word. But it- they balance each other out. She has no
yeah.
emotion, but that he brings the emotion out of her.
exactly.
I was
Yeah,
about to say, like, when they're talking about their game plan of like how they're gonna catch the rebels,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Good job," and he's like, "It's the best day of my life," and
yes, it
she's
was.
like,
Yeah.
"That's good. Like she's
Yeah,
like fighting emotion to be like, I'm happy for you, but also I'm
yeah,
not happy for you because
That's
I have no emotions.
that's why
exactly.
I posted that's why I posted my reel about when they say I love you, but Cyril said this to Deidre. Like the look that she gave to him was like, why are you talking to me like this?
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
they're the opposite. Like the woman should be saying that to him. But like he's like professing his love to her and she's like creeped out about it. But I think that's what the Empire does. It causes you to not have any emotion and
oh
that's
yeah,
all she's ever known. And the fact that somebody loves her for who she is, which she's just she has a cold woman. It still like freaks her out, but I love their relationship.
The
Legacy
actors are
Nerd, what's
doing a
going on,
great
brother?
job.
Says convince my lady to watch Row One tonight, dude. Do it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I was gonna say all the
Um,
actors are doing a phenomenal job. Like
yeah, yeah,
even the scene that we're not extremely happy about. If you take that scene out of Star Wars and just watch it as a scene, you're gonna be like, damn, those are some good actors right there.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like they did a good job, right?
Yep.
Of course, it gives us cringe, like the scene itself, but
Yep.
if you look at it from an acting perspective, they did a really good job.
Yeah, they
Yep.
did.
Vicente Cepeda says, "Dude, when she told him to turn off the light, I about that."
That was another thing like we got to see conversations about sex
Yeah,
in Star Wars.
right.
Yeah.
Like in some of the older films, like yeah, you would hear like maybe casual words being thrown out there, but like you never knew like, hey, they have sex in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right.
But in this show, it's like, oh yeah, we're full blown getting it on. We got nothing
Yeah,
else to do. There's tyranny and war going on. Like we need to release some type of frustration.
exactly. Yeah. So we got Tony in the house. What's going on, brother? Says, I can't
Oh,
even finish
Tony.
this show. I turned it off halfway through episode 4. Andor's not for me. And again, we said it at the beginning of the stream, right? It's definitely not for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. There's still Rogue One. There's still Andor season 1 if you liked it. There's still plenty of other Star Wars, right? Like you don't have to like everything.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some highlight reels of some action that everybody will catch at some point
Yeah.
that will help kind of piece together the story. Or if not, we can make it. We can do
Yeah,
it, guys.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Archer's asking, he's not supposed to be a simp?
I don't
Frankie
know what that
says,
is.
Deidre's
yeah,
a
same
freak.
here.
I dig it.
Did just a freak. I dig it. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, she's
Um,
100% a
hey,
freak.
we had boobs in Return of the Jedi. That we did.
That
we
is
did.
true. She said, "Turn off the lights." I got up and turned them off. Like,
I know.
yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, when she said that, I actually had to pause the TV and I was like, are we about to see sex in Star Wars? I was like, wait a second. What are we
I was
watching?
listening for the sax. I didn't hear the sax though. So.
Yeah, I was waiting to
Exactly,
hear
yeah.
like noise.
About to hear, the Max Rebo band, but the sexy, the sexy track.
I went back and I watched it just to like scenes. There's a few scenes. That was one scene that I was like because you can see their silhouettes slightly in the darkness, and I was like, do we see one of them run to each other? That's why she was like, turn off the light because in the darkness she comes out and be like she's
Yeah, like
told
she's
different
actually
person.
right.
So I was like, you see one of them is moving and it wasn't her. But I was like, it was also like the light out. He might have like just scooted over because he didn't know where he was at in the scene. But I was like hoping to see something a little different there, but it wasn't there.
Yeah. Legacy Nerd says, I'm trying to get through it, but it's tough with the 3 episodes drop weekly. Yeah, I mean, they're not short, which is good, I guess. You do need about, what would you guys call that? About an hour and a half per arc?
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
About that, right? Minus credits and stuff. I'd say it's about an hour and a half, an hour 20 of actual content.
If you got commercials, a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out like who came up with the idea of like for this show, like, hey, we're gonna drop it 3 episodes per one. Like they've never done it with any other show. What was the reason why this one had to be like that?
So I know that they had talked about the breakdown of the story, right, in 2 arcs before, but I remember seeing that, I believe it was Tony Gilroy who said that it was actually an executive decision to have it drop 3 episodes at a time or 1 arc at a time. So apparently it came from Disney, right? I don't know who in Disney, but yeah.
I like to say that they were listening to the fans. That
yeah, I mean,
We like
So
to
far,
binge
I've
watch.
kind of yeah, I've kind of digged it. Doing it like this, hopefully, and I guess in a way it makes sense because the show is formatted right like
Hmm.
this, right? Like there are 3 episodes to an arc. Um, so it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, this is the only live action Star Wars for the year,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be done
Yeah.
in a month, right? Or in a month period. We got what 2 weeks left, so I'm like, I applaud the decision to try something new at least. I don't know if it's gonna work out, at the end or not. At the same time, like we're gonna be done with the show like super quick, right? And yeah,
Felt like they should have
I
like
don't know
shotgun loaded the whole year. Like, like we've got this one,
exactly
it's over in a month, but hey, don't worry, because in
because we got
3 months,
yeah,
here's another one.
and in the
Traditional
past
way. Yeah.
yeah in the past years, right? We've had okay, we got our April Mayish show, and then we'll have something like in September October, right? So you're like, okay, well it's done, but something will pop up in the fall,
Yeah.
and that doesn't seem to be the case this year. So
I mean,
I don't
thankfully
know.
we have the animated stuff coming too. So
Yeah,
oh
May
yeah,
the 4th we have, right? It's May the 4th?
yeah, May the 4th we
Yeah,
got
May the 4th. Tales
Tales
of
of the Underground.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we're
Pretty
gonna
excited
have
about that.
um yeah, that one's gonna be pretty good. And then we have what is it? What are we getting this year? I'm blanking out now.
We're getting what is it called? Visions is coming back.
Visions 3 is coming back in October, is it, of this year, I think?
October,
Yeah. And then we're gonna get Visions um
the movie.
yeah, like the full on shows or like seasons for the stories, but I think that's coming next year.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it for this year, at least so far.
I think they're also probably just going to give us like a good break because 2026
it's
it's
gonna get
going to be
wild.
like
Yeah. Well, we're
you're
gonna have a
getting
movie
you're
finally.
having a
So
movie, we're having Ahsoka. They're
mhm.
they're literally filming right now as we
Yep.
speak.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Um
they started
did you like
last week.
that picture she posted
oh dude,
with
Yeah.
the
I
shadow?
I
Oh, I love that.
screamed. I
Yeah, it was awesome.
screamed. I literally I don't know I forgot who I told. Oh, I told Tiara this. I have been typing a long ass letter to make it into a minute and 30-second reel because Disney has to bring me to the Ahsoka 2 premiere because they're having 2 of them. They're having one in England and one in California. And
Oh,
I'm
snap.
sorry. I have a
There
huge Star Wars, I have a huge Ahsoka collection. I need to be there.
there you go.
I have the both of the actresses tattooed on my leg. Like I need to be there.
You should send a picture of that.
What?
Yeah.
The tattoos. Like when you
Oh
got
yeah,
them done.
I'm not done. Like it's gonna be like a long video, like begging. I'm gonna be pleading, please, please. I'll pay for my ticket. Just let me go to the Ahsoka premiere. That's
Yeah, I
all
was
I
gonna
want to
say you
do.
just need an
I
invite.
just want to
That's
be
it.
there. I'll dress up in cosplay. Like that's another reason why I'm going to the gym because I'm determined to make a Darth, like a Darth Ahsoka cosplay. I want to take like the cosplay, like her yeah, like the scene that we got in Ahsoka when she's fighting Anakin and
Yeah.
her eyes shifted into a Sith, and then she was like, "I choose me." I would love to just make that into a Darth Ahsoka.
Yeah. Do it, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
why not? It's what is it, next year, right? So yeah, you got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Campaign.
Oh, and then because Frankie just brought it up too, we also have Fortnite Star Wars, which I've never played
Oh
Fortnite,
yeah.
but I'm definitely going to be playing Fortnite now. We also have the Lego movie that's going to be coming out for Star Wars, which is going to be Darth Jar Jar and Brickhead Ahsoka.
Nice. That's awesome. Um, let's see. Legacy Nurses. I think the reason they have another series to release this year. Um, Another series Disney wants to be highlight when it's on. I guess so.
Mm.
Since I was telling my lady that making content for Andor is tough, it's like making content for Law and Order or something. That's interesting.
Bum, 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 bum,
Wait, which
bum.
Law and Order?
Yeah, right.
There's one
Because
SVU.
SVU is great.
Uh,
Literally watched that before we got on.
yeah,
I
nice.
used to
I haven't
watch
seen
it
the episode you're talking
religiously
about.
I used to watch it religiously before going to sleep, but then like I couldn't go to sleep because I'm like, how does the episode end?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
It's like watching what is it? Uh the Unsolved Mysteries. It's like, did
Oh,
they find it? I don't want to go to
I need to
sleep.
know.
I
Yeah.
need to know. I don't want to go to sleep.
I hate watching old ones where they leave you with like the words and it's like, as of right now, the case is still active. And then you're like, this was shot like 5 years ago. So I'm on my phone, like
Yeah,
trying to figure
exactly.
out, like, did they actually find the person?
Dude, the new series of it on Netflix is freaking wild. Some of that stuff I've actually seen like on the news, and I'm like, that was on Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah. I just heard him fall down and I totally forgot. We totally didn't even bring up this guy. Like,
Yeah.
when are we going to get him?
I know.
Or
That's what I'm saying, man. We run
when
out
are
of
they going to
time.
go pick him up?
The next arc.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm expecting that the next arc really, starts getting things into high gear, right? The last arc is gonna be nuts in my mind, right? Like
Gotta
that
be.
last arc has
But
got to go.
they do that roughly in almost every like Star Wars show. Like the first arc, we get the grape, and everybody is like ranting over it. Now we have this next arc, and everybody's like, I kind of want to see more stuff.
Yeah.
So I think the third arc, we're gonna probably see somebody die.
Right.
And then in the last arc, we're gonna see a lot of people die.
Yeah.
And then we're about to see how Rogue One looks completely different.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed with the exit of was it Cinta? Is that
Yeah.
Cinta? Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Same.
That was like a really crappy way to go for her. But
Yeah.
I did like what she was telling the kid, like, don't you dare cry. Like,
Exactly.
she owns him for the like forever.
Yeah.
But she was like just tearing into him. But the way she was doing it, like not completely broken down emotional, but like coming at him with like extreme, like stern, just I'm the boss, you're gonna listen. This is like how it's gonna be. Like, I thought that was kind of like deep on her character. Like, she just swallowed it. Like, that's like you could tell how much she loved her, and she took that hit hard, and she just swallowed it, and then just she's she's gonna go in a crazy way.
Yeah.
Like, that's the
And
only
also,
way I
like,
think you
they
kind of
were
redeem them.
still they were still kind of in the mission, right? So
Yeah.
she's still in the, hey, we're still pulling a job. So, like, I like that she didn't break down, like you said.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought she was
Like, she
gonna.
just swallowed it. Like, she
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
like not feel for the fire, but she just like, I'm putting this, bottling it up inside.
Yep.
So like it's gonna explode somewhere, and I'm thinking like that's how she's gonna go. Like, it's gonna be some wild, like, for the cause. She's going out.
Yeah.
I will say this, one of my favorite interaction in this show. I love seeing Mon Mothma and Luthen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At that wedding. Oh my god, it was so tense. And I think, like, honestly, that's why she was like, dude, there's so much stuff going on. I'm just gonna get drunk.
Yeah.
And dance my ass off because this is way too much stuff, and I need to keep my shit together.
People were like, I don't know why she's like, I was like, what do you mean? Like, they painted this beautiful picture of like, you don't want to get your hands dirty, but in order for this to work, your hands will be dirty. He's like flat out telling her this. And then when it finally clicks, like, she's in it and there ain't no way to get out of this, and she realizes what's about to happen. Exactly, like, I can't handle this. Like, throwing them down,
because in her mind, she knows, like, when you're in that situation, especially like if you're anybody who watches like war movies, there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna die.
Yeah.
And the ones that do survive, like, your hands are dirty. You're part of something. A lot of people are gonna die for the for the cause.
Yeah.
Yep.
And sometimes some people who do die for that cause, it was necessary. You needed them to die in order for this to happen.
Yep.
Like for instance, we're all sad about Cassian, but Cassian needed to die in order for the plans to get to Leia. Just certain things needed to happen. Like I said, certain deaths needed to happen. Maybe, if Bix does die and it causes Cassian to be this type of person, now we understand why he's just straightforward, very cold, and just wants to get stuff done.
Yeah.
Yep.
But also,
I think that's why it clicks with me, because I'm a huge history buff, and like those time periods in our actual history, like I love learning about it and like hearing those individual stories like of people going through all this stuff. Like it's like, hey, we didn't want to be a part of the war. It came to us. Like hearing that stuff, having family members that had served in the military, like all that stuff is like really interesting to me. So to see it kind of play out into my fandom that I like, I'm like, oh man, this is hitting home for me because like this is what it would be like if it was Star Wars was real life. Like it's
Mhm.
like art imitates real life, right? So that's the way I'm seeing it. So that's why I think I'm like really digging it. And some people don't, and that's cool. But
Yeah,
maybe
yeah. Again,
take
to each
take
his
a look
own,
at some
right?
history.
Yeah. But yeah, with Mon, I think it was everything came down right, like at the same day. Like she's marrying her kid, her only kid, off
To
to like a somewhat known criminal, right? Like a corrupt dude and everything, to get her finances covered to fund the rebellion, right?
Remember,
but
yep,
he's also blackmailing
But
them too.
exactly. But I
yep.
was gonna say, but she just learned that what she thought she at least had that covered, right? She's like, okay, this sucks, but at least I'm getting this, right? And then they tell her, by the way, you're not really getting this either. Like her friend or whatever, the the banking guy that actually introduced them is like, oh no, yeah, we talk, and I'm not that happy right now, and he flats out says it, right? It's like, yeah, actually, the rebels are pretty bad for my business. So he's already, like, hey, you're gonna have to sweeten the pot quite a bit,
Yep.
if you want to
Hmm.
keep this. So now she's like, well, why am I even doing this, right? Like, what did I even gain?
I just
So
sold my child
exactly, for
for propaganda gain.
yeah, and I'm not even getting that
But it
anymore.
was like
So
that back then too.
oh yeah,
Most people high in the hierarchy were not selling, but like they were auctioning off their kids in order to get a higher status.
yeah, it was strategic marriages, right?
Yeah, it
Like
was
Yep.
strategic marriage. And this is a strategic marriage. It's
yeah,
like, hey, I need funding
yeah,
for what's going on because I'm kind of broke.
exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why she's like, all right, I've had it,
I just want to
I'm
get
a,
drunk.
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna drink 14. What are those called? Sagrinos or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Their drinks.
And then I'm just gonna dance my ass off
Yeah,
and look like I'm part of the run fair.
exactly. Yeah, thought it was funny how she was just like flailing her arms. Like
Yeah.
Do you
The
see do you
meme.
see Flex get down?
I did. Yeah, I did. Well, I saw the one you posted. Yeah,
Me.
it was funny. Yeah.
Dude, he did that and I instantly was like, work my magic quickly.
Yeah, dude, that was funny. Vicente says, yeah, that part with her kid, and then the conversation she had with her. Yeah, dude, and the kid is mean, man. I'm like, can't wait to have a teenager, because she just
Oh,
goes like,
it's
after everything she says, right? She just goes, "I wish you were drunk." We're like, "Wow, bro, come on."
yeah. Thought we had a moment there for a second.
I know.
She's like, she's like, my kid hates me. I sold
Yeah,
my kid off.
yeah,
I'm possibly gonna be dead. You know,
exactly. Yeah, and I didn't
nobody
even
is
get my
gonna
money.
support me. Yeah, I ain't got no money.
Yeah,
You
my
know, I could
my
probably
husband.
be, yeah, I'm husbandless.
Yeah,
Like, no one's gonna want me. Let me just shoot back a few
exactly.
cocktails and
Yep.
just forget about the day. I wonder how her hangover was the next day.
Yeah, right. That would have been interesting to see for sure.
I would have liked to have seen her and Luthien hook up.
Oh, imagine like they just drunk
Imagine.
make out.
Just drunk and make out.
That's funny.
What
But
y'all think about that in the closing moments where she's trying to get that key out? Like, did you feel like that whole scene was a necessary one? Like, I don't know if we gained anything out of that one.
I
Nah.
felt they dragged it out too much. I was
Yeah,
cool with the whole panic because we have a bug and it's about to be found out. I'm okay with that, but you don't need 15 minutes of her trying to
yeah,
turn a wrench. Like I'm like, dude, I get it. I kind of see the strategy. I know what you're doing. Yes, there's peril because everybody's right there, like 2 meters away from you. Krennic is there, which I actually kind of like seeing Krennic. We're seeing him more than I thought we were going to be honest.
Yes.
Um, and he's always good. Uh, but no, I to answer your question, no, I thought it was unnecessary that long. Like, show me her get to the artifact, pull off the little cover. That's it. That's all I need. I don't need to see, that she had a special wrench and then it got stuck and then she cut her hand. I think I didn't,
Yeah,
Hmm.
if I
she was
remember correctly.
trying so hard that it started
Yeah,
digging into
exactly.
her.
I'm like, that's not really how that works. I'm like, you kind of have to anyway. But yeah, I thought that was a little bit too much.
Little too
Like,
much.
yeah.
Can we say that Forrest Whitaker is probably one of the greatest actors of our time?
Oh my lord! Like I was about to go sniff gasoline just on his
Yeah,
monologue, dude. Like
dude,
seriously.
he's taking breaths. He's hitting that
Yeah,
constantly.
dude.
That dude
I was
like
like,
takes it off and he's like, "Woo!"
whoa, yeah.
You
I was
didn't
like,
see
bro,
how high he was the majority of the time in Rogue
Yeah,
One.
yeah. I was like, I
yeah,
want whatever he's having.
yeah. Give me two of those.
I'll take. Yeah, exactly. I'll take a tank of that stuff.
I feel like what is it the comparison to whatever they're inhaling is like the stuff that they were smoking back in the days in like Japan, like
Yeah.
in those bathhouses.
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. But it was. Yeah, it was funny.
I'd be
I mean,
dumb. I'd be inhaling that stuff and then trying to fly a TIE fighter
yeah,
or
I know, right?
like
And
just
that's the
having
thing. He gets in the ship right after that too. Like,
Yeah. And I
yeah.
kind of
oh,
liked
and
how he's like,
speaking of the
oh,
tide,
yeah,
they didn't bring up anything with the first three episodes, like stealing that tie. We still don't know what's going on with that. Like,
yeah, yeah. There
is
wasn't
it who
much
has it?
wrap up with those.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I said, I did like to see how Saul has like actual military power, right? Like he's got
Yeah,
a few X-wings and stuff. Um, so I did like that. They showed that. I kind of want to see it in action, of course, but at least we know that there is some how do you call it? There is some muscle, right? Like in the rebellion.
Yeah, he's an
Um,
extremist.
exactly. Yeah. So his priority is always going to be like fighters
Yeah.
and soldiers, right? Like he's willing to strike. Um,
That's what you need.
yeah.
yeah.
You need somebody crazy like him.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a huge factor. And kind of going back to season one, where Lutheran talked about being expendable. Like he had to make that choice of who he
Yeah.
was going to give up. And obviously, he's like, you're important to the cause. So it's like, I need you.
Yeah.
I was like, so I'm hoping we get more of like what his part is. Um,
I'm
and then
also
how about the
hoping we're
throw?
getting Galen. Hopefully we get to see
Yeah,
some
yeah,
Galen.
yeah.
Yeah. That'd be
I'm
pretty cool.
hoping to see some of him too. What do you think about the 15-second throwaway Bell Organa?
I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see more of him, right? But I thought it was unnecessary at this point. Like if you're just gonna
Again, I was
show it,
like,
yeah, if you're just gonna show him like saying hi and bye, I'm like, I okay. Like,
No,
yeah,
I
I
wanted
thought
Jimmy
they were gonna at
Smith.
least have a little exchange. It was like, hey, how's it going? Wink, wink,
yeah,
and she'll be like, oh, it's not going so great, but we'll talk later. That's it, right? But no, she was literally like, hey, you guys made it to the party. He's like, yeah, well, I'm leaving. I'm like, all right, cool, bye. I'm like, okay, I guess.
We'll probably see more of him.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
sure we will,
I'm
right? But
assuming
like
Yeah.
I said,
will, but I was
in
like,
this
did we really
particular
need him
scene,
for? Yeah,
yeah,
did we really need him for
exactly.
the 15 seconds? Like that was kind of
Yeah,
a letdown.
Yeah,
yeah.
if they only have him for like that one scene and we don't show him
Oh
again,
my lord, yeah.
then it could
Oh
have been
God.
like, hey guys, maybe you guys could have just worked it out with Jimmy
Exactly.
Smith,
Yeah,
had him go record at the volume
exactly.
or something,
Yeah,
had him green screen this shit
yeah,
at his
Yeah,
house.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, dude.
CGI it. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just
CGI. You could have
it's the
brought
back
him
of his
back
head and just his
or deep
verbal.
face his face.
Yeah,
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Don't get me
Like I
wrong.
said,
I like Benjamin, but come on, it's Jimmy Smith's.
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you had him in Kenobi,
Mm-hmm.
you had him in the originals. Like you couldn't take 20
Yeah.
minutes to go record.
No, I agree. So yeah, again, I'm halfway predicting that he does have a lot more screen time, right, coming up.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they would have
hope
made
so.
that change, if it didn't. To your point, Nilda, right? Like they could have just, worked it out remotely somehow.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, in this particular instance, no, I don't think that was necessary. I'm like,
Yeah,
why, dude? Like, why tease us like that? Um, anyway, but um, I'm like I said, I'm hopeful we're gonna get a lot more action, a lot more pushing forward the cause. Um, but yeah, it's only 6 episodes. That's the thing. It's only six episodes left. So I'm like,
No, but
oh,
I'm hopeful, like how Tiara said. Each episode is an hour, and we're jumping into the next phase of it.
yeah,
Like, I'm putting all of I'm putting all my money on this. Like
yeah,
this next arc, we're about to see some wild shit.
yeah, and
Yeah,
we need Kate Twisto like now.
Yeah, like now.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
gotta
I think also it's kind of like what I just said. Like there's some things that they didn't mention. Like we didn't see the banker guy get whacked. We
no,
didn't see what happened to the tie. Like these are things that are
yeah,
left
they're still
open.
out there. Yeah,
So I'm thinking this jump they could definitely do that again and be like, oh yeah, don't worry about why we talked about this because
yeah.
now we're going to talk about this.
Moving
And
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think hopefully that kicks up and then maybe towards the last bit you get some of the tie-ins of everything. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, we've been down this road before. Like we've said this many times. Like we got 2 episodes left. Can they tie it all together?
right.
We're saying that with 6, and like we had said, an hour long. So hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully it does
hopefully.
tie it very
But
nice.
to
Yeah.
what you said, we've said this before with only 2 episodes, and they've been tied together, and then people still bitch about it
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Well, I
because
mean,
then
we're always
the
gonna get
the
that.
answer will be, "Oh, it was rushed." We can't rush this in 6 hours. We can do this in 6 episodes.
yeah,
Yeah.
If they're 1 hour long, we can do this in 6 episodes.
Yep. 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 So yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, we're here at the 2 hour mark, so I think we're about to shut it down here. But let us know. Let us know what you guys think about the first 6 episodes of Andor. What are your predictions for the next arc coming up next week? We will be here again, hopefully next Wednesday to talk about it.
Yes.
Um, hopefully, with a lot better how to call it understanding of where we're gonna wrap up the story. Um, yeah, again, very much looking forward to it. It's been a ride already for sure. Definitely some stuff that we did not expect, or I didn't expect, to see in Star Wars, like we just said. So yeah, this I'll say it again, as I did at the beginning of the show. This show Andor is not for everybody. All right, so if you like it, that's awesome. If you don't like it, that's also good. There's plenty of Star Wars for everybody. So yeah, let us know if you're sticking around with it or if you dropped it like Tony. Uh, and yeah, let us know what your expectations are, hopefully in the next 6 episodes.
Yeah, we're about to. What is it? We're going into BBY 2.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We're coming in close. We're coming in pretty close.
Coming in
Um,
hot. Hopefully,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, aren't we right now? I guess we already were right in Rebels territory, or we're about to be.
That's
Um,
why it would be cool if maybe we get a Hera.
oh, imagine! I'm
Can you
down.
imagine? I'll scream.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
That's why
Just
I
hand it.
said there's a lot to be done in 6 episodes, especially if they're 1 hour long. That's
Yeah,
2 movies.
yeah. I
yep.
just need to actually do it though,
But
because so
wait, yeah,
far,
it's 2 movies, or it could be 3 movies if you if you want to like really stretch it out. It
yeah.
can be three
I do
movies.
wonder actually. Now that you mentioned that, I do wonder how consistent they're going to be with the runtimes, or if they're going to expand or contract. Some of the later episodes. I'm
Yeah.
hoping they at least stay the same. To be honest, I kind of feel like that's a good pace, right, or a good length of each episode. But who knows? Maybe the last three are longer, right? Nothing, nothing is dictating the run time anymore,
Yeah.
so they can pretty much do whatever they feel they need to,
Mhm.
or however much money they got, to spend. Um, but yeah. Uh, Okay, so again, guys, we will be redoing this stuff next Wednesday for the following arc that will be dropping next Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. Make sure that you have your notifications turned on. Make sure they are following all of us here on social media. I don't have my banners here. I don't know if Nilda you have them, but if
No,
not,
you
check
guys
us out
gotta
over on
send them to me.
Instagram. At Nilda, Nilda listens, the Dad Vader, and General Kenobi's bunker. Check us out all over social media: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. Make sure that you are subscribed and you have that notification bell activated so you do get notified for the next episode. All right, we appreciate y'all sticking around. Feels good to come back. So y'all have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. Go watch
Good night,
Andor if you
guys.
haven't, and if you haven't seen it and you don't want to, that's also fine. No worries. Um, and if you can, still catch the very last showing of episode 3. Depending on the time zone that you're on in right now. So some of y'all might make it. But yeah. So thanks again, guys. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great night, and we will catch you on the next one. Love y'all.
He said, I love y'all. That was so cute.